Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman script, which uses a combination of dot modifiers, like these, and line modifiers, which can curve like these, or be straight like these, in conjunction with 4 different shaped letter stems to make our consonants. And vowels are a bit trickier. They're smaller circles, so like these little guys. And they have different positions depending upon what vowel they are and if they're attached on one of the 4 consonant stems. Anyway, it makes the most sense in practice, so let's go ahead and look at this design. Typically in the script, you read starting at the bottom and then going counterclockwise. But if you imagine an infinitely large circle, and you start at the bottom of that and go counterclockwise, you'd start at the bottom and then go to the right. So that's why you read linear designs from the left to the right. The individual words are also read bottom counterclockwise, so let's start at the first letter of our first word. So right away, we start with a vowel and a consonant team, because there's a little circle attached to a big circle. So this big circle is in this row, meaning it's one of these consonants. And we can tell which one it is by looking at the modifiers. This one line ending on it makes it an N. So it's important that this line ends on the word circle, not on the consonant stem. If it did connect back up here, it would become the letter P with 2 lines. So it's very important that this line ends here. So here's the N, and then we have the little circle inside it. So if we look at our guide, inside it is this gray color, meaning it's an E. So E's are in the central position, and E's, I's, and U's all have the same position. I's just have lines, and U's have lines as well. They just radiate outwards for U's and inwards for I's. So this is an N, E, and then we have this next letter, and it's a shallow divot shape. So it's in this row, and there is one line on it, making it a V. So N-E-V. Here's another E, and it's all by itself. It's not attached to the V, it's just on the line of the word circle. So we look at the word circle line, and here's that E. And then we have a shallow divot here. Even though these shallow divots are different depths, this one even shallower than this one, because they are not more than 50% complete, they are not deep divots. So this is still just an R with 3 dots. So never. And then we have our next word, bottom of it is here. This is our first letter. It's got 1, 2, 3 lines ending on it. All 3 of these thick lines end on this stem. So we're in this column, and it's deep divot. So like I was saying before, this starts to curve in on itself. It's more than 50% complete. It's an omega shape. So that means we're in this row. So that is an F. And then we have our next letter, which is this little one outside the word circle. And A's are the only letters outside the word circle. So that's an A. And then we have another little circle, and it's an I because it's got a line going inwards. So I, and then our last letter is here. There are 1, 2, 3 dots that haven't found a home yet. Even though these 3 dots are pretty close to this stem, this already has lines ending on it, and you can't have both lines and dots on a consonant, so we have to go with a consonant that has no line modifiers ending on it. So even though these lines pass through it, they do not count because they don't end on it like these. So anyway, this makes it an L with 3 dots and a circle inside the word circle. So this is fail. And then we have our next word, bottom of it's here, shallow divot, little tiny little shallow divot. So that makes it a T. And then our O inside the word circle, so 2. And then we have a deep divot. So deep divot is a B. And then we have our E on the line, just like that E. So 2B. And then our last word here, bottom of it's here. And there's no letters starting at the bottom. So we continue going counterclockwise until we finally hit our first letter, which is this one. There are 2 dot modifiers closest to it, so that makes it in this column. And it's inside the word circle, so that is a K. And we have an I line going towards the middle. Here's an N with 1 line on it. And just like this N here, we need to have this line end on it and this line end on the word circle. So N. And then last but not least, we have a D with 3 dots. This little line here is just extra decoration, kind of helping with the balance of these 3 dots compared to these 2 dots and how it's spread out. And then these are also decorations as well, because it gets pretty thin in the middle here where there's just 2 teeny tiny little words. So these don't say anything, and you can have, dotted lines or dashed lines or any sort of decoration in here. Though be careful if you put in open circles or closed circles, things that look like dots or circles, they look like punctuation because these are the sentence circle lines, or look like the sentence circle lines. So if you put dots or um, circles on here, they would look like periods in the middle of the sentence between the be and kind. So yeah, you would want to avoid putting, I guess, open circles or dots here. So anyway, never fail to be kind is this design, and I really like its minimalistic layout. Oh, and line thickness doesn't matter at all whatsoever. I just put some thicker lines to kind of help with the balance of it. And having some thick lines and thin lines makes the thin lines seem even thinner. So yeah, that's that design. I hope you like it.